Hey, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know, this is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific. They call me Chris of the Northwest. And we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're mentally preparing for the best time of the year for sports, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Is there a best time of year?
You got the end of baseball. You got the start of football.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And there's no basketball. So, okay, I'll buy that.
Okay.
All right. Well, tonight, you might think it's a rerun, but no, we are just continuing our talk from last week about cache maintenance, or a couple weeks ago. I don't remember what it was. It was recently. We didn't finish. We had too much stuff to talk about and not enough podcast time to talk about it. So here he is.
Here he is doing part 2.
That's right. So live audience, jump in the chat. I already see it flying by over there. We want to hear what you have to say about cache maintenance. But first, of course, we want to give a quick reminder that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. Thanks to Land Sharks. You know, they're one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. If you're headed up to Vancouver Island this summer, and really, why wouldn't you? Don't forget to plan a visit to the Land Sharks store at 525 Head Street in Esquimalt. It's just minutes from downtown Victoria, and you can browse all the products in the store, meet the awesome team, and find GC5Z4N2 geocaching news. Read all about it. It has 418 favorite points. You could add one and make it even more. So head on up there, check it all out at landsharkswithaz.ca. And our other corporate Denali level sponsor is Gold Country Geotourism. You can visit exploregoldcountry.com and learn more all about the geotours, 2 of them, the region, all kind of stuff up there. And hey, they have a really cool app too. Don't forget to go download that. So exploregoldcountry.com or facebook.com/exploregoldcountry. Now, if you'd like to know more about supporting this little podcast, come to the cachingnw.com website and click the Patreon link. You'll learn all about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Do you remember that commercial? If you want to get somebody's attention, just whisper.
I remember Canoe.
Oh, well.
Steve,
okay.
Come on over.
Hey, it's time for the glow. And some people have asked in the past, what is the glow?
Well, I suppose it's up to me to ask. What is a glow?
Thank you.
Okay.
You did that well. It's the geocaching log of the week, created by our very own Dora Moore, by the way. Mm. So whether you read it or whether you wrote it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. Thank you, GSM times 2. And in fact, it's apropos that he should ask what a glow is. So send it along in an email like GSM times 2 did, or record it right there on your very own smartphone. Send that into feedback@cachingnw.com. You could call into 253-693-TFTC and show us how you glow. Now, I know the line works because I intercepted a call accidentally from Limax.
Oh.
Get this. It rang on my phone, so they must have updated the Google Voice app. Now it just pulls it right into my phone, and I, had no idea why he was calling, so I thought, you know what? I'm driving. I can answer. He goes, why are you answering this line? Like, this is my phone. No, it's not. Oh, oops. So there you go. It's live. Apparently you can get me wherever I am.
Call it anytime, day or night. That's what he says at the end of the show, folks. I didn't make that up.
What I do say.
So
I didn't get to getting Limax's message up. I'll have to do that next week.
Okay. Hey, you could give it a call and say, zombies, run! And then hang up. You could. Anyway, as you mentioned, it's apropos that GSM times 2 said, what is the glow? Because he sent in his log. And this was from a cache called Potter's Pond. Little thing, GC3B. You might have heard of it. It's been around a little while. And let's see what his log says. As I approached find 28,000, he says, I contemplated what would be an appropriate milestone find. When I realized Flew by You and I planned to get to Potter's Pond in mid-July, that settled it. With careful planning, I arrived at the pond sitting at 27,999. I just needed to find the cache. We knew to start at campsite 19 to find the trail, and that we would find the cache, quote, right by the trail, unquote. Everything was looking good. And then it got interesting. As we donned our mosquito netting and applied off, we heard distant thunder. At this point, I will mention that I have a healthy respect for lightning based on two experiences. When I was 15 on a trip with my dad, he climbed a mountain, heard distant thunder, and was struck in the right shoulder by a lightning bolt. He survived, but an experience like that leaves a lasting impression on an impressionable teen. My wife was a technician in a Michigan burn unit for a number of years and had plenty of stories about scraping dead skin off people who were struck by lightning. So here I am, high in the mountains, listening to distant thunder, having second, third, fourth thoughts. We pressed on. The thunder got louder as we followed the path, climbing over fallen trees. Then, despite it being daytime, I could see the flash of lightning and could now measure the distance by counting the seconds between the flash and the thunderclap. You know, if you count the number of seconds between the flash of lightning and the sound of thunder and then divide by 5, you get the distance in miles to the lightning. 5 seconds, 1 mile. I counted 12 seconds. We continued. We started to look for the cache at ground zero. 9 seconds. As we climbed among the many fallen trees, it began to rain. Minutes passed. The seconds didn't. Flash, 5 seconds. Thunder. I know that if I died geocaching, my wife would say, well, he died doing something he loved. But if I died getting hit by lightning, she'd kill me. I expanded my search. The rain stopped. The lightning stopped. I found the cache right by the trail. Thanks for the find. Number 28,000 favorite point awarded. Next milestone, 29,000 at Geo Woodstock 2023 in Flagstaff, Arizona.
I wonder if he's going to make it.
I think the 2024 in Flagstaff.
You're right. It is.
I read that as 20 because that's what it said, but I think it's really 2024. And I have no idea what number of Geo Woodstock it is.
20, 21?
Something. If I go, it'll be number 2.
Yeah. That's true. It's different for everyone. This is the first time I've heard you divide by 5 when you count the number of seconds. I grew up, every second was a mile.
Yeah, I do remember. It seemed like it wasn't 5 what I was originally told, but I can't remember what it was. And
so let's throw that out to our audience. What do you guys think it is?
I don't know, because the Canadians wouldn't be able to tell how many miles it was probably.
And hear the lightning, the time between. How do you determine distance?
And then bang, crash, the lightning flash. But that's another story. Never mind. Anyway.
Wet Coaster ads based on, if I get hit by lightning, she would kill me.
Yeah.
If you fall out of that tree and break your leg, you better not come running to me for help.
That's right. Don't come running to me.
Too funny. Okay. If you want to add to tonight's show, we know you do because you do every week, folks, and we thank you for that. Use the hashtag maintenance in the chat, just as we did 2 weeks ago. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I heard every second was 1 mile. Kitty Quest says, I was taught 1 Mississippi equals 1 mile. So there you go. It's interesting. This is the first time I heard divide by 5. So either way.
You could just multiply by half.
Oh,
I don't know. That wouldn't work. Never mind.
I think it's like, you have to divide by 5/9.
Sure.
And add 32. If you want to, I'm way off topic. Sorry, guys. If you want to bring up something for the after show to talk about afterwards, an event you're going to, an event you're planning, how to, I don't know, calculate out the distance from the flash to the sound of lightning, use the hashtag FATAS to bring it up in the after show. And of course, you can use the twin hashtags of hashtag podcast baking and hashtag podcast drinking to tell us what you're chewing and sipping on tonight.
Or baking. You may not be chewing it yet. You may just be preparing to chew.
Winos was taught 1 Mississippi equals 1 mile. But IHAM says a quick Google search says divide by 5 is correct.
All I know is whether you count by ones or by fives, the smaller the number, the closer the lightning.
Oh, yeah.
So got that.
Here's GSM times 2 from the National Weather Service. If you count the number of seconds between the flash of lightning and the sound of thunder and then divide by 5, you'll get the distance in miles to the lightning. 5 seconds equals 1 mile.
Sounds authoritative to me.
Well, I mean, National Weather Service, they know a thing or two.
Okay.
Yeah. Brylang came up with that as well.
Okay.
And the 1 Mississippi equals 1.603 or 0.9344 kilometers.
Okay. 1.6 clicks per second. Got it. Well, we were talking about maintaining those caches, right?
Yes.
We didn't have any news to get to, did we?
We didn't have any real news. They talked about the icon run because we talked last week about the wheel. I'm sorry, the wheel of challenge.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Yes. And it's the number of icons you can do. And, they brought up the fact that maybe not everybody knows what an icon run is. That was in the logbook this week. I hope everybody here knows what an icon run is.
When the icons get the runs.
That's right.
No, it's not.
No, not how many saints you can find in a Catholic church?
Probably not.
Okay.
Maybe nuns. Nuns on the run. Yeah, we're just getting way off topic. Let's go back to talking about maintaining caches. One thing that I don't think we touched on.
We did not. I know where we stopped.
Yeah. If you decide that you just can't do maintenance on your cache anymore, maybe you moved, maybe, I don't know, you fell out of your car in a parking lot and broke both your kneecaps on a, tire iron. I don't know.
It can happen.
Yeah.
If you're at a skating rink and, a tire iron hits your kneecap.
There is a way that you can transfer ownership of your geocache to another geocacher. It's called adoption. They will not process a transfer without permission from the original cache owner. So you can't just go, I really like that cache. I think I'm going to adopt it and just take it over. No, the original cache owner has to put it up for adoption and contact you and say, hey, I'm sending you this, and then you have to, if you're going to adopt it, accept that request. There's a geocache adoption tool. I think it's at like geocaching.com/adopt. It's probably something really simple like that. I don't have the exact URL in front of me. There it is. Now I have it in front of me, thanks to GSM times 2. And so you go there, you enter the GC code, look it up, enter the username that you want to transfer it to, and then select go, provide any information in the box, and you send adoption request. I've done it recently, and I have been the recipient. I have adopted caches in the past, and I have put up caches for adoption. I've done both ways, and it's great. It keeps caches alive. I do wish there was a way to request adoption instead of there's a cache fairly close to me here, and it's a puzzle cache. I solved the puzzle. I did the geochecker. I know my coordinates correct. long string of DNFs. Local geocachers say that cache owner is no longer active, and the cache recently just was archived because I put a watch on it because it was close to home, and I kept seeing the notes from the reviewer saying, "Hey, really need to check on this. Hey, got to do something about this thing soon." Finally, it's like, okay, nothing heard. Archive the cache, and I wish there was just a way at that point to go, hey, could I adopt that before you archive it? But currently, there's no way to do that. Maybe that's a feature request we could put in there.
Well, you could always go out and perform maintenance.
I considered that. I've also considered just recreating the puzzle and placing a new cache at the location. It would be a new cache, but I don't know. So haven't decided.
That's not a bad. I mean, you could copy the exact text,
right? Because it's still there on the archive page.
Yeah.
So it's a thought.
It's interesting.
One cool thing about it, though, is archived and legacy cache types cannot be transferred to a new owner. Neither the adoption tool nor Geocaching HQ can transfer webcam, location list caches, or archived caches. So, like I said, now that cache is archived, I don't think there's any going back, unless it's an ape cache that's been thrown down a ravine. That's the only cache I've ever known that has come back from being archived.
If you can find the original container.
That's right.
That apparently is the key there.
Yeah.
GSM times 2 says recreate it and refresh the game board.
Yeah,
because that would give all the people in the area a chance to go out and find the new cache.
Yeah, and I could even slightly modify the puzzle. It would. I'll just tell you, it was a Sudoku puzzle. So
okay,
fill in the missing numbers and then use them to find the coordinates. I could modify it and make a different Sudoku puzzle, so you still had to solve, but the final location would probably still be the same. So, but
well, here we go. The reason we were doing a part 2 on cache maintenance is because you guys had so many good ideas and comments in the previous one. We couldn't get through all the material, and we're starting off again with just finding our way. How do you properly log that you perform maintenance on someone else's cache? Asking for a friend. That's good. I don't know, because you can't do a needs or a performed maintenance owner maintenance log yet. If it's got the needs maintenance little red wrench, there's nothing that you can do if you're not the owner,
right?
That I'm aware of. Perhaps there's somebody, maybe a reviewer or some knowledgeable person who could feed in some information into the chat or the show notes.
Maybe you could brute force guess the password of the original hide. No, don't do that.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, we do not condone that.
IHAM adds, talking about adoption. If a cacher is no longer alive, can adoption be accomplished without intervention by their estate?
I don't think so. I think
no. Yeah. The best thing you can do, folks, is use a password manager and make sure somebody you love, you trust has the main password for that password manager. Then they could go log into geocaching.com after your passing.
And some of those tools have feature that way that if you don't log in, dead man switch, it'll send information to somebody.
So I mean that happens all the time in the movies, right?
Yeah.
If I don't log into this website, emails are going to go out to all the news agencies.
Safe House.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart. Good movie.
Oh, that one. Yeah. And others. Need a new cache type, a Lazarus cache type.
Oh, I like it. Back from the dead. But geocaching, it stinketh. Oh. No.
Wait a minute. Just finding my way says that's my point. You can.
You can?
You could write a note saying dead.
Okay. So you can write a note.
Starcasher says, once the reviewer starts the timer towards archive, even if someone else does maintenance, unless the CO takes a maintenance log or does a maintenance log, the cache will be archived.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. There's no, you can't remove the red wrench and you can't stop the archive timer. It's like that self-destruct thing,
Mm-hmm.
Set the ship for self-destruct. You've just got to get off the ship.
Right. Or turn off the self-destruct at 1 second. Again, another movie trope.
Yeah. Just don't cut the red wire.
No, you always cut the red wire.
Oh, I always get that wrong.
Okay. Now, I just, this really hit home for me because I recently archived a cache that I adopted.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. See how we've touched on a lot of things here. Mm-hmm. I adopted a cache. It was actually one of yours there, Wits End.
Mm-hmm.
And people had trouble finding it. I replaced it. They had trouble finding it again. And I went to go, I was, okay, that's it. You know what? I'll move it. And when I go to at least retrieve the cache container, there are building material containers, shipping containers.
Yeah.
Parked all around it. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely not a good place to have a cache now. So,
and interestingly enough, that cache I adopted from someone else.
Right.
So it's time.
It's time. So, I moved it nearby to hopefully a better location. There's already been a couple of finds on it. In fact, Utahxter Rocks. I believe she was the FTF. I haven't looked. I know she founded it today. Okay. So one of the things we want to talk about besides adopting caches out if you can no longer maintain them, or if you're just not interested, or somebody says, boy, I really love that cache, here, you take it then, because I don't like the location.
Yeah.
As we are preparing to change seasons from summer into fall, and then summer or fall into winter, it comes all too soon. You might want to revisit your geocache locations, check your containers and their contents. So make sure you use watertight containers to keep the cache contents safe and dry. That happens a lot out here, right? We get a container, it's great. Oh, we hit 100 degrees here in the summer and it got a little warm and deformed and now it doesn't seal anymore. Or it got frozen in the winter and the lid cracked when it went to go put back and it doesn't keep the water out. So go make sure the container's in good shape. And you know what? Use a good quality container. That's what I'm going to say.
I used a good quality container in Blueberry Park and Heather had trouble finding it. She DNF'd a cache that belonged to me. So I'm sorry that you couldn't find that one. I think that one, I know the area it was in. Obviously I do because I hit it. It has been overgrown quite a bit by blackberries. And the last time I was there to check on it, at least one of the trees, if not more, had fallen and the stump was rotting. So I have a hunch it's still there. I have a hunch it's either behind too many blackberries to make it comfortable to search for, and or sinking deep into rotten stump pulp stuff, or both. So you might be interested to know that I just went ahead and archived that cache this week because I am now over 200 miles away from it and I can't get over there to do maintenance. If anybody is in the area and wants to retrieve that container, I wouldn't mind having the container back someday. I thought it was a pretty nice container. But yes, I saw your log and I'm sorry that you couldn't find that one. It made me a little sad.
Well, and I need to get out there and check on it for you, see if I can retrieve that container.
Don't go in flip flops and shorts. I mean, there's blackberries there from what I remember.
That's what I wear for work every day. Okay.
Get some tips from Heather there.
Okay. So I should be wearing medieval knight armor to go in there?
That would be fine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And have somebody videotape it for the podcast.
Yeah, because when I fall over and I can't get up.
Yeah, that's the most entertaining.
Exactly. Oh, J-Car says, based on my experience, no one will take care of a cache as well as the original owner. I've seen so many caches adopted out, archived as soon as they go missing. There you go.
Yeah, it's like, stuff you give them for free, you just don't appreciate as much as if you have to work for it yourself.
That's true. Yeah.
So, what's that?
GSM times. You should read it.
Oh, if I dug through the blackberries and blueberry heart to get the container, I'm keeping the container. And you know what? That's fine. It's a nice container. Enjoy it. I just don't want it to go buried down into the turf and never be seen light of day again. It should be out with log sheets in it, getting found by somebody else. So
there you go. You know what? The next tip I would say, based on the seasons, especially spring and summer, be cautious of vegetation.
Yeah.
Grass and leaves are good camouflage, but they may not be there all year round, and beware of dangerous and poisonous plants.
They're out there to get you.
Oh man. Blackberries, they want you.
They want you. Yeah. I've had bad experiences with stinging nettles also.
Oh yes. Yeah. And you know that you could have placed the cache a couple of years ago and suddenly now it's covered in blackberries and stinging nettles that wasn't there when you first put it down. So you know what? Oh, there you go. Heather carries trimmers with her for blackberries.
That's good. That's a good thing to carry.
And armored gloves, I hope. Wow. I've got a blackberry vine as big as my pinky here at the house that, I just keep hacking at and it just keeps coming back. Okay. So next tip is temporarily disable your cache when it's unavailable. If heavy snowfall makes your cache inaccessible, disable your cache.
Yeah.
We had a series around Mount Rainier for its was the Rainier 100 for its 100th. Was it for the 100th birthday? Or?
National Parks 100 or something? Yeah,
100.
I forget.
And some of them were on. Well, my Earth cache was on Highway 410, which gets closed seasonally.
Yeah.
Right. So I would watch the news and say, "Oh, Highway 410 is closed. Let me go disable my cache for a period of time," because some people will see, "Hey, there's a cache there. Let's go ahead and try and get it." Well, no, just don't. It's not safe when they close the road there.
Yeah. People might still try anyway, but just don't.
Just don't. Yeah. If the road is closed or there's construction, don't think you can just work around it.
Yeah. Snowfall can be fun to play in, but it can be dangerous too if you're not prepared. On the other side of the seasonal coin, summertime. You might not have any snow, but wildfires are a very real threat throughout the summer. We have reported on that for the Gold Country caches, that lots of them were inaccessible due to wildfires. If they're common in the area you're in, make sure you check your cache container and make sure that stuff in there is suitable for extremely hot temperatures. That cheap throwaway Tupperware is probably not going to survive.
I don't know if ammo cans could survive a direct fire. They're supposed to be able to.
And even if they did, the log sheets and contents would probably be unrecognizable at that point. But yeah.
So there you have it. The wildfires made me think of Maui, and from what the news says, the entire island is on fire.
News does tend to exaggerate things, but they are pretty widespread. So I don't think the entire island is on fire, but it is pretty widespread.
Yeah, high winds are spreading those fires. So our thoughts and prayers go out to all the folks in Maui who have been displaced with this wildfire. The news say people are jumping into the ocean to escape the flames.
Well, the ocean's a pretty good place to escape flames, I would think.
So, so also in the summer, expect more visitors, right? Summertime comes, people tend to get out and cache more. So make sure your log is ready for that you can handle that. Maybe it's time to go replace the log and put a fresh one in there. And maybe it's time to update the swag, so that the kids have something fun to find.
Kids love swag.
Yes, they do. That was what got my kids into geocaching.
Yeah.
Well, allowed me to go geocaching with my kids.
Yeah, you guys gonna say you got them into geocaching, but it kept them interested.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going to get more visitors. You're probably also going to get more muggles because, well, it's summertime and there's just more people oot in a boot, as they say.
Oh, you are so international.
Especially if that cache is in a popular area where there's lots of tourists and stuff. You might want to maybe drop an extra clue in the description or actually in the hint area to give a seeker little tips on extra stealth. Go tie your shoe next to the second post. Things like that.
There you go. Bryling says he's found an ammo can that was in a fire zone. Contents were melted or burnt, depending on what they were. Just finding our way, says 3 burnt ammo cans I found all had ash inside.
Yeah, so I think the can will survive.
Mm-hmm.
Paint job's not going to look good.
Well, the maybe it'll camouflage it better.
No, there you go.
UDAC had an Altoids tin in a fire. The tin was fine. Everything in it burned.
Yeah.
And GSM times 2 says I had an ammo can explode based on how it was bulged and open.
Okay.
There you go.
Was the local bomb squad involved?
He had some serious fires there a year or two ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it all depends on what vegetation the ammo can was in. So, yeah, some areas burn hotter than others.
That's right. Now, coming up to winter as we are, I know it's hard to think about that when
it's out of ways yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're supposed to hit triple digits here next week.
Wow. Hide your cache above the snow level or in a place that's protected from snow coverage, right? So if you've got it at the base of a tree, and you get a lot of snowfall, that tree well may not be a safe place to have people go.
They can be deadly.
Yes, they can. If it is safe to get to in the winter, add the available in winter attribute to your cache. Do you do that? I tend not to use the available in winter because here, on Western Washington, available in winter means it's waterproof.
Yeah. I was going to say, all the caches I've ever hidden have been in urban areas that really don't see significant snowfall. So I have not used that attribute, but it could be appropriate depending on your cache and location.
And place a pencil inside the cache container. Pens can freeze in extremely cold climates.
That's true. Yeah. So I don't even know what the space pens are rated down to. But
well, they got to be 0, right? Because that's what space is.
Pencils will work.
Mm-hmm. Why did they need to invent the space pen when they had the pencil?
I'm telling you.
I guess the shavings were hard to pick at 0 gravity when they're floating around.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we tell you to go regularly check on your cache? Even if it's getting good finds, go and check on it.
Yeah, because I've seen lots of logbooks that are crammed full and there's not even a place to sign, especially the little tiny scroll ones.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the logs, nobody has made that comment. So sometimes as a CO, you'll think, oh, it's fine. Nobody's saying anything. Don't rely on the cache finders to make comments about, hey, this logbook is full. You might want to come out and check on it. Just go check on it. Just, set some time to go around, set it in your calendar. Say, okay, this day I'm going to do nothing but cache maintenance and run around.
Yeah. If you just have a couple of caches, it's easy. If you're like GSM times 2, you set aside a month a year to go do all your maintenance. Yeah. One of my caches, actually the Washington State GeoTour cache, somebody put on there. It was easy to find with the big round things pointing the way. What big round things? What are those? I'm going to have to go look at this and figure out what this is.
Yeah, because, sometimes things change from the time you hit the cache.
Exactly.
And, there was somebody back there, I don't even know where it was now, that hit it, and the place isn't even there anymore. But,
yeah. Or, they could have, a bunch of shipping containers around it.
It's possible.
Yeah. GSM times 2 says, I checked on a cache that had all finds. The log was mush and I couldn't retrieve it. I archived it. The new cache should publish tomorrow.
Okay.
So there you go. Even, without a needs maintenance log,
caches need maintenance
on these things.
Yeah. So yeah, logbook maintenance, super important because you got to sign the logbook. That's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should also inspect the container, because it doesn't matter if you go out there and throw a brand new, fresh, crisp log sheet in a container if the container is cracked and leaks and it's just going to be full of rainwater in another week. You might look okay at first glance, but really check it and kind of see. Take it, submerge it in the lake. No, don't do that. But check it. A lot of those, like lock and locks.
Your sink or bathtub is fine.
Yeah. Lock and locks or ammo cans even have a rubber seal that dries out or goes missing. So it might snap shut nice, but it's still not really sealed from the weather.
That's right. Okay. I have to say something. My wife has found a new reality show called Survive the Raft. Okay. It's on Discovery, I believe it is. Anyway, they had to go to an island. There were 20 ammo cans filled with money, and, grab them and come back. And I was amazed when they came back, they took these ammo cans through the water. There was water inside the ammo cans. Like, wait a minute. Aren't ammo cans supposed to be air or watertight? Why is water getting in these things? Do they not know how to seal an ammo can?
In theory, yeah.
So anyway, I just thought that was, odd based on the ammo cans that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the next thing on our checklist is to refresh swag. Keep the cache container stocked with exciting and family-friendly swag items. Remove any items that are old, damaged, or not suitable. No food, no drug paraphernalia, nothing that can explode like a lighter.
Yeah.
That could have been in GSM times 2 cache. It gets hot and boom, it will explode. So just, put nice things in there. I've taken all sorts of things out of caches that I thought were inappropriate.
Yeah.
GSM times 2 says must have been Harbor Freight ammo cans.
Oh, that's probably.
Well, those are plastic ones, first of all, but a metal ammo. No, they were metal ammo cans, the ones they were hauling back and forth. IHAM says, I found a cache in an ammo can weighed down with bricks and hidden in a pond. Right?
I'm hoping that had a good seal on it.
I think it was dry. I think I know which one it was.
Okay.
And it was dry inside.
And as you said, kids love swag. So if you are just starting out and your kids are little and you want to keep them interested, put some fresh swag in there so kids can find stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kids of all ages. Big kids, little kids, kids that climb on rocks.
Oh.
Let's go ahead. Peaches says what?
Go ahead.
Peaches says, I'll frequently check on my caches, even if there doesn't appear to be a problem. Good plan. And then she writes an owner maintenance log, and that way cachers know that she's checked on it. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that when I'm looking through there, especially if, in her case, she said, even if there's no indications of a problem, but I like it when I've seen some DNFs and then I'll see a cache owner note or a maintenance log that says, swung by and check on it, still there, all is good. And I know that I can't find it just because I'm dumb, not because it's not there.
I think that feeds into the health score of the geocache. If there's owner maintenance logs on it.
Could be, yeah. Something else to think about, verify those coordinates. Now, the coordinates themselves don't move, but sometimes the weather, the terrain can affect the accuracy of the device that you use to take the readings to when you hid the cache. maybe there's a lot of tree canopy when you hit it, and now it's the dead of winter, and there's people get better signal, or who knows what. Super
You got
stormy,
a better device to read from
super
now.
stormy, cloudy. You got a better device that's more accurate. If people are coming out and consistent, especially if they're saying, "Hey, I found it, but it was 20 feet off where I thought it should be," maybe go out there and double check that the coordinates are still accurate, or somebody has taken the cache and re-hit it in a better spot, farther from where it should be. Or I have hit a cache in the past that was in a tree stump, and then the tree stump no longer there. The tree collapsed, whatever. I moved it to a different tree, updated the coordinates. So you can adjust those in there. It's within reason. I can't say, well, I moved the cache 250 miles, so I updated the coordinates.
No, there's a limit to how far you can move the coordinates.
Yeah.
Going back to owner maintenance records, GSM times 2 says, like Peach, I do that owner maintenance, even if I do it, I do it for my owner maintenance log and put in everything is okay. Owner maintenance logs reset the cache's health score.
Oh, good to know.
And Brylang says, yes, owner maintenance logs help restore the health score.
Cool.
There you go. So do those owner maintenance logs. Just, do a dozen of them a day just to keep everything up to, wait, I'm getting, that's probably not a good idea.
Well,
sorry.
Especially if you only own like 2 caches, a dozen a day might be a little bit too many.
Oh, okay. The information you hear on caching in the Northwest is for educational purposes only.
Your mileage may vary.
We just talked about changing weather.
Mm-hmm.
Be mindful of it. Consider adding extra protection to prevent water damage during the rainy seasons, or securing the cache more tightly during windy periods. So maybe you want to, it's going to rain a lot. Maybe you want to put that log inside a plastic bag, inside the ammo can that seals really well, just because, right? If you open up an ammo can when it's raining outside, you'll get water inside the ammo can. If you've got, little stuffed animals in there, now they're moist, and you're closing the lid and making it dark. Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah. And if that ammo can has a good seal, you think, I'm set. It's got a good seal. It's going to keep the moisture out. Yeah. It also keeps the moisture in.
That's true. Yeah.
So, bring, if you, in your little swag bag, you maybe, or your backpack, you might want to bring some paper towels or something that you can wipe out caches in the wet season.
Microfiber cloth.
Yeah, could work well.
What about the little desiccant packets? Does anybody use those, carry those with them to toss into?
I have mentioned that in the past, and that was met with some negative opinion that those are not a good idea to put in caches. But I imagine we'll hear in the chat pretty soon. People think of those.
I've helped unpackage some large items, and there's desiccant packets that are like 4 inches square. I'm like, ooh, these would be nice.
Right. Yeah. Something else to think about is validating your logbooks. You can monitor your logs online, and you can make sure finders' experiences are positive and respectful. So you can monitor what people are posting online. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I know the chat will. If I post a log on a cache, I know a copy of that goes to the cache owner. If I then go back and edit the log, I don't know that goes to the cache owner. I don't
believe it does,
because I've had people just write a very short TFTC and then go back later when they had time and write a more lengthy log, and I've never seen it until it's like, oh, look at that, there's a better log there. So it's theoretically possible somebody could put something mean or objectionable there, and you don't want that in your thing. You want to keep everything family friendly. And if there's a comment or a question or a concern in the cache, respond to it. Send the finder a message, or put a log in the write note in there that you address that, so people know that you're paying attention. Right. GSM times 2 confirms edited logs do not go to the cache owner. So if you want to write something really nice for the cache owner to see, and I hope y'all do it on your initial posting so the cache owner gets to see it. I tend to go back only just to edit to like correct a stupid spelling error I did, or sometimes I'll go back and add a photo if I didn't have access to the photos. My friend took the photos on their phone and didn't give them to me later, and then I'll try to add them. But
hey, wait, that's me. Okay, now you're making it personal. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the hey, we'll write more later.
Yeah,
but you never get that email.
You never see it.
So that's a good point. Wet Coaster says eventually desiccant packs won't absorb moisture any longer. Consider them used up when you see one.
Yeah. One tip when you're caching with Chris of the Northwest, he likes to verbally dictate his cache logs into his phone while you're walking. So as he's doing so, walk near him and just spout nonsense words and numbers just to really throw off Siri.
Thank you. Yes. You tend to like the word spaghetti. I don't know why. You
Albuquerque.
just throw that out there.
Snorkel.
Mm-hmm. And I'm telling people this is a great way to do it, right? You can hold your phone up. You can look ahead to where you're walking and then talk into your phone rather than looking down at your phone and tripping on the branch or on the root that's sticking up, or the rock, or walking off the trail, falling off the cliff like the coyote does.
As long as you hover in space for a couple of seconds with your feet spinning windmills and then fall, then it's okay. Because he never gets hurt.
Notice you're not walking on anything.
Right, yeah. And at those times he never gets hurt. He's always back in the next scene.
That's right. See, I like 3 hams here.
Yeah.
Says, oh gosh, I dictate logs, and often whenever my group is discussing gets into the log.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be entertaining or embarrassing.
It's true.
You choose. Wet Coaster also contributes that Project GC Premium will notify you when there's been a change to a log on one of your caches. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
And yeah, Brian Lang, we like messing with 3 hams logs. On the more later note,
yeah,
GSM times 2 says if I do an FTF more later, I'll delete that original log and then make a new log because the CO will see that.
That's really nice. I hadn't considered that.
I hadn't either. Good tip.
That is. Yeah, I agree with you. If I've made a spelling mistake, or, I have some very common typos because, I misspell words, or, I type out of order. It's like, yeah, you know what? I'll go back and correct those, just because it doesn't change the content of the log. It just makes it easier to read.
Wet Coaster says, hey, 3 hams, those could make for a good glow.
Oh, yes, they could. As we were fine spaghetti with the group. Yeah. Who knows what's in there?
Craft dinner, machete.
That's right. That's what I think of when 3 hams mentions anything. Craft dinner and machetes. You may notify maintenance needs. If a geocacher finds your cache and does a need maintenance log, you know what? Go take a look. Maybe you do a needs maintenance log to alert the cache owner. And you would hope the cache owner, like you, would jump right out when they see one of those and go look at it and go fix it. Yeah. So
we mentioned earlier about nice weather brings out more cachers and more muggles. If you're on the finding end of things, be aware of muggles. If you'll just walk up and find that really well hidden cache, then some muggle's staring at you and sees that, and then when you leave, they go, "What is that thing?" And then take it home with them. Now, find the cache discreetly, handle it discreetly. I've taken caches several paces away from the location it was hidden, so I could open it up and sign the log without being seen that way, and then subtly put it back. So be discreet.
Yeah, I've done that and not been able to subtly put it back.
That happens too.
It was in a Walmart parking lot, right under a
Yeah.
lamppost. I went and grabbed it and I thought, I'll move away. I'll go back to my car and sign it. Somebody parked right next to the lamppost
And then didn't get out of the car.
and let somebody else out of the car, but they stayed in it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't put this back with them right
Now,
there.
if you had your safety vest and clipboard, you could do it.
You're completely invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've taken caches from their hiding location all the way to a hospital bedside.
That's right.
To be signed and then brought it back.
Though we did leave a note on the cache page that we've taken the cache container.
I think we did. Yeah, that's true. Well, that was a while ago.
There you go. GSM times 2 says maintain your cache page if something has changed.
Yeah, don't just update the coordinates, but make a note on there and update the description.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes people don't go through and read all the notes and logs.
Was it GSM times 2 last time we talked about maintenance? I think it was. The cache page is also part of the maintenance, right? So if an image that you've used for a background or for, helping somebody find the cache is no longer available, you know what? Update that. Go look at your cache pages and make sure that they reflect what you want them to do.
Yeah.
Or want them to look like. And if you need to change words, go change words. It doesn't affect it.
Yeah. Update the hint too, Peach says.
Yeah. Yes. So, yes, we did discuss that. GSM times 2 says.
Okay.
And, I don't think reviewers will let you get away with it now, but there was for a while. I'll give a hint after the FTF is found. Or I'll give a hint, later. Like, why would you even put that in there?
It was almost exactly 4 years ago, by the way, that we borrowed that cache container and took it to the hospital bedside. Says some anonymous person in the chat.
Okay. Good. When doing safety, when doing maintenance, prioritize safety, especially in challenging terrain or at high risk areas. Use appropriate safety gear and adhere to local regulations.
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't want to go do maintenance on the cache because it's too dangerous, you shouldn't send other people to go do it or other people to find it. That's what I'm trying to say.
You should be safe when you hide it and make sure you're not putting others at risk.
Yeah. Remember, this is family friendly, right? Don't put it in a place that's going to be dangerous for somebody to go out to. That's no fun.
Yeah. Now there are, difficulty ratings on caches for a reason. And there are caches that might require special skills, gear, apparatus, or others to get. And if somebody decides to attempt those caches without the proper tools, they could risk injury or harm. But as long as you've plainly set the difficulty high and maybe even made a note about use those attributes, then I think you're good. But as a general rule, on your typical traditional cache, think about people's safety. We want people to come back and cache again tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. J-Car says, or too easy for a hint. I'm looking at the hint because I can't find it.
I've done that. No hint needed. I beg to differ.
Or once you find it, the hint makes total sense.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, obviously. But, I'm looking at the hint because I can't find it.
Yeah. And this final point, I think, was written with me in mind. Archive some inactive caches. If you are no longer able to maintain a cache, consider archiving it to prevent finders from being disappointed by a neglected hide. And I feel bad that somebody had a bad experience trying to find my cache and it wasn't there. So I just archived it. I cannot get over there on a regular basis to maintain that one anymore. It made my cache owner dashboard really blank because I currently have 0 hides. So I need to get out and hide some.
You do.
I'm like the opposite end of the spectrum from GSM times 2.
Well, most of us are in one aspect or another, since the guy has, like 18,000 hides.
Yeah. UDAC also does not like the evil hides with no hints.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Keats says, there's a cacher in Saskatoon that just says nope in all his hints. Why go to the effort to write a hint in the first place?
That's how some people roll.
Oh, yeah. Nope. Well, folks, we got through 2 parts of cache maintenance. If there's anything you think we missed, let us know. Write us a letter. You can send that off to feedback@cachingnw.com. We'll talk about that in part 3 of cache maintenance coming up. Who knows?
Ooh, you never know. It could happen.
But most of all, folks, we want to thank you. And thank you for the time you took to tune into this episode. We hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you enjoyed it. And also want to take a moment to thank Land Sharks and Gold Country Geotourism. They are our corporate Denali level sponsors. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online or visit them in Esquimalt. They ship online orders daily. And of course, for absolutely amazing geocaching adventures, check out exploregoldcountry.com.
That's right. Thank you so much. And we want to thank all our faithful Denali level supporters. That's Landshark, Gold Country, Geotourism, Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, Cool Cow Cachers, and Cashly. Wow, that's harder to say than you think it would be. If you want to know more about supporting this show, click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website.
Yeah, just like Just Carlo.
And Skyhawker.
RAR285.
Sege Hove.
Subway Mark.
Team Noltex.
Kitty Quest.
Wet Coaster.
Korsgat.
B Pendragon.
Camp Clan.
Greenwords.
Flagman.
Trexer.
Limax.
Wino Seattle.
Doramore.
And Tape.
Logwork.
Ari 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
LG 9000.
Beach of Washington in Washington.
MNerv.
Just finding our way.
Alarobrick.
BC Rock Crawler.
Mountain Bike.
Seebeck Tribe.
Genies.
J Car.
Ackerdoc.
Broncos fan for life.
UDAC.
Kid Vegas 19.
GSM times 2. Thanks for the glow.
MC3 Cats.
Kev MacD.
CRS 98.
GeoNav Pro.
Geocaches.
You Talks to Rocks.
Boomer 365.
And wrapping up the list with Gas Station Tuna. All right.
Folks, thank you so much. And thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. So if you like the show, please click on the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website. And if you didn't like the show, let us know what you want us to talk about. In either case, please subscribe wherever you get your podcast and leave us a review. Now, if you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. You can also call into 253-693-TFTC. Talk to me, or maybe leave a comment, ask a question, or drop a new logbook in any of our caches any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. The show's been produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, Jay Kennedy, and Brian Lang. This show's licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2023 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
The After Show. Oh, let's see. I saw some things in here.
Did you?
Heather knew that you had moved when she went looking for that one in Blueberry Park, so no hard feelings.
Well, I'm still sorry you didn't find it.
Okay. We may have exaggerated slightly the number of hides GSM times 2 has. About 725 hides. And to my knowledge, all of them are okay. No needs maintenance logs, no disabled.
That's still an amazing number of hides.
Yes. Immediately followed by 3 Hams, who says, pro tip, don't hide too many caches. It reduces maintenance.
I got that nailed right now.
You got a maintenance run lined up for this weekend?
Nope, don't need one.
For all those caches?
That's right. Let's see. Doramore, I saw one, is packing for a geocache road trip. Got me to thinking, when are you going to have some more contests? That one was a lot of fun. We should do contests some of these days.
We should. You know what? We'll reach out to Land Sharks and have them donate a prize. And what should we do the contest about, Doramore? Since you're so full of good ideas.
And other people can throw in some ideas too. If you got another good idea for a contest, throw it out there.
Let's see. We got a lot of podcast drinking. Should we hit some of those? UDAC is drinking rose wine, or is it rosé?
Let's see.
We have Kitty Quest, podcast not baking, podcast drinking, Maritime made cappuccino Bubba Magoo's with mixed with Reese's Pieces, all washed down with rum and Coke.
And Bubba Magoo's are little candies, sort of like truffles.
I was going to say, I don't know what those are, but it sounded good. It sounds better now. Wino Seattle is podcast drinking 1 16-ounce vitamin R, that's Rainier, and a dram of Elja Craig 18.
Elijah Craig.
Elijah.
Two of the best. So he says.
Let's see. I think that's all the podcast stuff.
Oh, there was the one I was thinking of earlier.
Please.
What coach says, I adopted a cache in Toronto. It was in the railing of an abandoned house downtown. Had to archive it when the house burned down.
Ooh, yeah. So, that would be a good reason to archive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Carlos says, I have to replace the cache that's gone missing. Now I have to finish off another jar of peanut butter. So if you see him at the next event and he can't speak well, yeah, he just finished off that jar. Oh, let's see. Seabeck Tribe says, I'm going on a run around Eastern Washington for 16 cities and towns and 18 geotour, plus a few others along the way. Holy cow, that's a great trip.
That is a good trip.
Go get them done. Just Carlos says, I recently did a multi where you needed info from a mural at stage 1, but it's starting to fade, making it a challenge to read. How does a CO maintain that?
Paintbrush.
Oh yeah.
Sharpies, crayons.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. You got it covered. Or simply change the clue.
Yeah. Change the clue to how many clouds did there used to be in the sky? Because that would be, no, don't do that. CRS 98, been busy. Only 27 caches left to find in the WSGA 20. Still a few more road trips left.
Fantastic.
Good job.
Wet Coaster says, when watching a show that may contain ups and downs, unexpected twists and turns. Podcast baking popcorn.
Popcorn is good. Popcorn is a meal.
Popcorn is a meal. So, IHAM says, I got an old Right in the Rain logbook passed to me by someone who is no longer caching. Had half page for comments under each date entry.
Wow.
That's old, right? That's when you did all your logging in the field.
Right. Some of those old logbooks are really, if you can find some, they're really fun to go back and just read and see what people are doing. I remember one that asked somebody to make like a drawing in there too. So.
There was one here in Tacoma that the whole idea was to write a story within the logbook. So you wrote like a sentence or two, and then the next person added on to it.
Yeah. Let's see. I only see one left. Keats podcast drinking blueberry vanilla ale from Jasper Brewing.
Sounds like dessert.
Okay.
I think the president of the BGSA would offer up a Sasquatch coin for the contest. Is a Sasquatch coin just really big and hard to find?
Well, yeah.
And blurry.
I saw a meme today that says the reason nobody sees Bigfoot or Sasquatch, and it showed Sasquatch crossing a trail in plain sight, but everybody that else was on the trail had their face down in their phone.
That would do it.
Yeah. That's why nobody sees him.
Okay. A Sasquatch coin is a little bit squashed. Okay, folks, thank you so much for joining us. And until next week, get out, maintain those caches, and get caching in the Northwest.